In the headlines, Bauchi, Jigawa states record 44 diphtheria deaths with over 300 cases recorded. Troops burst gun factory, recover weapons in Kaduna State. Benue Governorship Tribunal upholds Governor Alia's election victory. Also in the news, 10 people killed, dozens injured after truck explosion in central Somalia town. Hello there, good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Bauchi as the state government says that diphtheria has killed 34 persons in the state, with the state recording 296 suspected cases despite surveillance response efforts. Now, the executive chairman of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency in the state, Ruwanu Muhammad, disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV's Adamu Imam on the state's prevalence rate of diphtheria.
The primary healthcare boss explained that 11 local government areas have confirmed the outbreak of the disease with 8 new cases. He says health workers are still collecting samples for the suspected cases, while those confirmed are receiving treatment at the designated centers in Jama'are local council area.
Now, government decided that we should also look at the state that the infection is coming up, outbreak is coming. So that's why we selected another 10 states, 10 local government that we're going to carry out work. And that is coming in the next 3 weeks. We are gathering information. We are doing macro planning and macro census to see how many children we are going to vaccinate so that we'll be able to get them vaccinated.
Mohammed maintained that one of the major setbacks is the rejection of vaccination by people, adding that vaccines reduce chances of being infected.
There's no reason why people will not accept this vaccination, because it's not polio why they're suspected that they put something like infertility, but this one is that people rejected the vaccination because of selfish interests.
He also disclosed that the federal government and other health partners are working to arrest further spread of the disease in the affected local government areas, noting that awareness campaign on the disease is ongoing in the other 9 local councils areas of the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In a related development, the Jigawa State Ministry of Health has confirmed the death of 10 persons suspected to have died from diphtheria, which has been recorded in 14 local government areas across the state. Now, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Salisu Muazu, made the confirmation while fielding questions from newsmen on the state's prevalence rate. Muazu explained that so far 2 cases have been confirmed at Kazore and Jahun local government areas, as some samples have been taken to Abuja for confirmation. According to the Permanent Secretary, the epidemic had been recorded at areas with 0 dose of routine immunization across the affected local government areas in the state. Muazu noted that the ministry had conducted investigation and collected the necessary information as well as data in the affected areas and updated the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control for further actions. Elsewhere, troops of Operation Safe Haven have recovered a gun manufacturing factory in Kafangchang area of Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State. Now, the discovery followed a week-long intelligence operation which culminated to the capture of a wanted gun runner, Napoleon John, who has been on the most wanted list. According to the spokesperson of the operation, Captain Oya James, the suspect who confessed to the crime led troops to a concealed factory where arms of different caliber were being sold by another culprit identified as Monday Dunia. Dunia now also confessed to have been a gun runner for over 5 years, fueling the crisis in Kaduna and neighboring Plateau State. According to the spokesperson, a thorough search of the factory led to the recovery of 22 different weapons, including 7 pistols, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 2 military-grade AK-47 rifles, and 9 revolvers, among many other weapons. 20 suspected kidnappers have been arrested and paraded by the police in Taraba State. This follows intelligence gathering and public outcry on the nefarious activities of criminal gangs, which prompted the police to launch an offensive on the criminals hibernating in hotspots across the state. Parading the suspects before newsmen at the command's headquarters in Jalingo, the police public relations officer Abdullahi Usman revealed that the suspects have all confessed to committing the crime, as operatives recover 3 AK-47 rifles and a fabricated pump-action gun. Now, according to him, the suspects have collected over 30 million naira in ransom from their victims' families. The suspects confessed that they belong to a gang of armed robbers and kidnappers terrorizing Donga, Bali, and Takun local government areas of Taraba State. Still talking security, troops of 103 Rear Battalion of the 82nd Division of the Nigerian Army, presently on Operation Udoka II, have rescued one person along Four Corner Agbogwe Junction in Udi local government area of Enugu State. Now, this was contained in a statement issued in Enugu on Saturday by Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Unwakalu, the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations of the 82nd Division of the Nigerian Army. According to him, the rescue operation was conducted when troops deployed at Udi checkpoint received a distress call from the police on a kidnapping incident. Borno State Police Command has arrested a repentant Boko Haram member for allegedly killing his ex-wife in the state. According to reports, the suspect killed his wife for being in a relationship with another man. The command's public relations officer, ASP Sani Kamilu, who paraded the suspect before newsmen, said he was arrested after the police declared him wanted.
Effort was then intensified to arrest the prime suspect, Musa Dauda, who is said to be her former husband and had disappeared and was declared wanted by the police. On the 21st of September 2023, at about 17:15 hours, based on a credible information, the suspect was arrested around Gadabul area of Dala Lawanti Meduguri by the police.
As I was leaving, I still heard voices again. I returned and caught her with another man. Then I used hoe to hit her head. The man ran away. I became scared and buried her at the farm and ran away too.
In other security-related news, the Niger State Police Command has apprehended 5 suspects in possession of human remains for alleged money rituals. Now, they were arrested along the Minabida Road in the state. It was reported that 2 of the suspects, Isa Muhammad, aged 26, and Idris Muhammad, aged 28, both from Sakbe village in Idati local government area of the state, were caught with the human remains wrapped in a bag by a sister security agency during a routine patrol. These 2 suspects were later handed over to the State Police Area Command in Bida for further investigation. The Benue State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, sitting in Makurdi, the state capital, has upheld the election victory of Governor Hyacinth Alia of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, the tribunal dismissed the petition of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate, Titus Uba, challenging the election held on March 18 for lack of jurisdiction to entertain the matter. Chairman of the 3-man panel of justices, Justice Ibrahim Karaye, held that the tribunal has no jurisdiction to entertain the petition before it, as they are pre-election issues as captured in Section 285 of the Electoral Act. The tribunal hinged its decision on the fact that the petitioner ought to have pursued the case of non-qualification and the nomination of Governor Alia by the APC and the allegation of forged certificate and false information on Form EC9 against his deputy, Sam Ode, before the Independent National Electoral Commission, beyond the Federal High Court, which dismissed the earlier suit filed by the petitioner to the Court of Appeal and not to the tribunal. Staying in Benue, rising costs of stationery items is taking a toll on students across the state. Jimmy Azande, who spoke to a cross-section of students in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, reports that the development is negatively impacting academic activities of students. His report.
Essentially, pen and paper are the most useful items the students require for their academic pursuit. In recent months, the cost of these items have multiplied. That's according to the respondents.
As a student, before a photocopy, one copy was 10 naira. Then, when you take like 5 copies to a cafe to photocopy your work, it will just cost you 15 naira. But now, 5 copies is up to 250 naira. So, as a student, it's not easy for us to endure this.
Price of commodities in school, especially the writing materials, have gone up, and it's not very comfortable with us students. Imagine our parents send money, they are not aware of the price of the increase in prices, and they send the regular money they send to us. But going to the market to buy things, imagine I went to the market day before yesterday, I'll meet and today I'll meet a different price entirely.
The price hike, they said, is not unconnected with the subsidy removal by the federal government.
Over time, due to this increase in the prices of things, fuel subsidy removal, which we call cost of energy, increase in cost of energy, there has been over 100% increase in the prices of materials. As students, for pens, bics were 50 naira, now is 100 naira. Books rise from 40 leaves was 100 naira, now is 200 naira, 60 leaves, something like that.
The multiplier effect is reflecting on related goods and services, making it difficult for most of the students.
And also in rent, there's also a tremendous increase in the amount to pay for rentage, because even the landlords, they'll have to go to the market, and because of the rise in prices, they have to charge such a way that they will be able to have that which they demand. And so the rise in prices have so much reduced the cost of living for students, and to the extent that it even affects their academic performances.
They are calling on the Benue State government to intervene, as some students are already contemplating abandoning studies because of the current economic crisis. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Well, you're watching Trust News Update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we'll tell you the story about how Borno women IDPs are making a living by repairing phones. More on this and many others coming up ahead in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Here's a quick reminder of our top stories at this hour. Bauchi and Jigawa states record 44 deaths over 300 cases of diphtheria. Troops bust gun factory, recover weapons in Kaduna State. Now, traditionally, it is incumbent on the husband as the breadwinner of the household to provide for his family's every need at every turn. However, modern society is witnessing a significant shift in this area, with some couples opting for something considered unconventional by sharing the financial burden of the home front. Trust TV's Bello Musa speaks to a cross-section of Kaduna residents on the concept of joint financial responsibility by couples. Take a look.
In African culture, husband is the head and the provider of the needs of the family. Against the spirit of this culture and the tradition, couples now jointly work to cater for the family needs due to many reasons. Some Kaduna residents express their views on the splitting of bills in the matrimonial homes.
Once you have a joint account in the family, which is maybe you are funding the account and your husband is funding the account, you can use the money to do some emergency. In terms of emergency, like maybe your children are sick, you might use the money to take them to the hospital and the rest. I think it's a good idea and I can do that.
Yes, couples buying things together, sharing responsibilities within the family is a good thing. In fact, it's a sign of unity amongst the family.
The issue of a joint account is something that is happening in the Western world, not in our culture here. In our culture, we have seen it a man be the head of the family, a man be the owner of the account, a man be the ones paying the bills in the house, a man be the one paying for the food we eat in the house, not a woman be the one paying for the bills of the house, pay for the food we are eating in the house, except the man is capacitated, the man is sick.
In olden days, during our own time, we do everything with our couple. Like our wife, we can do whatever we like, say, so see this, because we have good thinking during that time. But as at now, life has changed.
Though joint account creates stability and strengthens the bonds of union between couples, this comes often with disadvantage.
But it has its own disadvantage because some of us are entangled with our culture, which permits us to have one or more wives. What if I build my home with my husband and build a house together, and later he comes up that he wants to get married? Will I allow him come bring the woman to my house? No.
I am a clear testimony. I did that with my wife. We are still together. But unfortunately, once there is a discord, once there is disagreement, it affects even the account you tend to develop as a result, with a view, to take care of the problem that will emerge, within the family.
Okay, let's come to that aspect. And this woman wants to assist her mother. They say, only my mother needs some money. I want to take from that account. I want to send to my mother. The husband will spring up the same idea. Only my mother equally need money. I want to take from that account and send to my mother. Many say it is against the African culture to allow women fend for the family. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Well, as they say, to each his own. Let's head over to Borno State now for an epic story. Now, Borno State has been the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency and is still reeling from the effects of years of socio-economic instability, which has crippled the lives and livelihood of people. Falmata Usman is one of many displaced by the insurgency and now a resident of one of the camps housing thousands of these internally displaced persons. Her story is one of courage and determination as she defies stereotypes to become self-reliant and in the process inspiring others to fend for themselves as against waiting for handouts. Olatunji Omirin completes the story.
This first female cell phone technician in Borno State was traced to her hometown Mafa in Mapa local government area of the state after the town was resettled. She said when people tried to discourage her, she resisted because she had chosen to learn how to fix phones. For her, she wants to show the society that women could also venture into such trade and skill dominated by men and do so excellently.
Da farko dai ana cewa wai a'a ai wannan in ba maza ba ta yake mace zaki wannan aikin shi ne ce a'a.
They believe that only men can do it, and it is not a woman's job. But I believe women can also do some of the things that men do. That's how I got into the business, and now I have other girls learning from me.
Na samu yara ma su ma ina koyar da su kuma alhamdulillah su ma suna kokari.
Now the men who didn't want me to get involved are the ones bringing their daughters so I can teach them.
She was trained alongside other youth on technological and innovative skills to not only build up her skills but to earn a decent living and train young girls in the state. Falmata Usman said when they were at the Mona IDP camp, an NGO selected people for training and she was selected, trained and supported with some tools like meter, engines, screws and other for repairing phones.
This job can really help them become self-reliant and earn a living, which will help sustain their families, especially because they have been displaced from their homes.
She charged young girls to be economically viable to be able to support their husband because what women needed was not equal rights but economic empowerment.
Don haka ina so ku mai da hankalinku akan aikinku saboda zai taimake ku nan gaba.
One of the trainees, Aisha Mustafa, said although she was initially apprehensive, she's enjoying it and hopes to train other young girls in the community.
We saw her do it and how she became good at it. That motivated us to do it, and we're making progress.
They helped me fix most of my equipment and they are very good at it.
A community mobilizer and social media influencer, Dogo Setima, has this to say.
I'm calling on the state government to support and invest much on this girl child education.
He urged relevant stakeholders and government at all levels to ensure that more rural communities encourage people like Falmata Usman, who broke all barriers, to chart a new course for our lives and those of our trainees. Olatunji Omiri, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Such an inspiring story. Now, the Minister of Transportation, Said Al-Kali, has expressed his dissatisfaction with the slow pace of work on the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri narrow gauge railway project being handled by Chinese contractor China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation. The minister expressed his dismay on Friday while inspecting the project site in Port Harcourt alongside top officials from the ministry who also observed firsthand the state of affairs at the project site at Oyibo community in Rivers State. The 2,044.1 kilometer Port Harcourt Maiduguri Eastern narrow gauge contract was signed on the 16th of November 2020 with a completion period of 36 months. The minister, however, assured that the Nigerians that the ministry would take decisive action to address the shortcomings and enforce the relevant sections of the contract agreement.
I'm not happy, not only not happy, I'm disappointed. When I came to where they are laying the rail lines, you can see they are using manual alignment to align the sleepers. At this century, during this era of technology, I felt if you are not ready for something, you don't even start it. The funding was meant of 15% to be provided by the federal government, while 85% to be provided by CCDCC. So far since the project started, the funding is only done with the federal government component of the 15%. So that shows how serious the CCDC are in terms of Port Harcourt reconstruction and rehabilitation project. They will promote regional trading cost of trading will be very low. By the time we have started the passenger train, it will go a long way to cushion the effect of petroleum subsidy withdrawal.
On the international scene, a truck bomb exploded at the checkpoint in the central Somali town of Beledweyne on Saturday, killing at least 10 people and obliterating nearby buildings, according to police. It was not immediately clear who was responsible, but terrorist group Al-Shabaab frequently carries out bombings in the Horn of Africa country. Police officer Ahmed Aden said he has so far seen 10 dead persons, including soldiers and civilians, and over a dozen others injured, but the death toll is sure to rise, according to statements. He also, the town is in central Somalia's Hiran region, which has recently witnessed battles between the military and Al-Shabaab. Aden said the dead include 5 police officers who fired on the truck in a failed attempt to stop it from ramming the checkpoint. Nearby buildings and shops were obliterated from the explosion. Now, the victory of Nigeria table tennis star at the just concluded Africa Championship in raids in Tunisia seems to have yielded instant result as he moved up in the latest International Table Tennis Federation rankings. Despite crumbling in the team game final to Egypt, Aruna Quadri pumped up the volume to retain his Africa crown at the expense of Egypt's Ahmed Saleh. The Nigerian top seed retained his men's singles title with a convincing 4-0, 11-2, 12-10, 11-6, 11-6 amid missing a direct qualifying spot for Paris 2024 Olympics. The latest ranking released by the Table Tennis International body shows that the Nigerian international moved from his previous 18th position to 16th. He earned 500 ranking points for a total of 1,260 and remains the best ranked African player. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. We're back with more news stories at 9 o'clock. For now, follow us across our social media platform to catch up with our content and visit trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.